Well, there's a wave coming that nobody in the AI industry is talking about, and I think it's going to hit in about 12 months. But the thing is that I think that most of the people listening to this now are already in it. They just don't have a name for it yet.
Well, and to be clear, Matt talked about this a little bit last year, which I kind of thought at the time was a little hokey and weird. Um, well, those are his nicknames, hokey and weird.
Both of them.
A little bit. And what's funny though is I didn't have to start watching for it long because it started happening to me. And I think 12 months is very generous, by the way. But I don't think he's wrong. I think we should be paying very close attention, guys, because I think it's coming. And I think it's happening to me.
You're listening to the AI Convergence Podcast, presented by Box AI, where AI, business, and mindset converge.
Yeah, so to kind of touch into this, over the last month, AI has saved you and me maybe 10 hours a week or so, if not more for me. And so then my question is, how much of that did you use on yourself?
Do you want to guess?
Well, it's the same as mine. I know the answer.
Which is zero.
Zero.
I found that the extra time that I had, I would put towards my obsession over finding more time, my obsession over being more productive in other things, my obsession over what else can I get this to do, which is, this is what's interesting. When we were given a hammer or we're given a screwdriver or we're given another tool, thank God they have a limit because you can only use a screwdriver with screws and you can only use a hammer with nails, but with AI, because you can kind of begin to apply it to everything and you start seeing how its potential. If you're creative and you're imaginative, you're going to start trying to apply it to other things and you start filling that free space with more AI coding to see what you can do. Yeah. Because you feel empowered. And I think you mentioned before that dopamine hit that you get from accomplishing something so quickly.
Yeah. Well, so when we get the free time, everybody is tracking like that, time saved, tasks automated, and that's their ROI. But really, they're not tracking this nervous system cost. And we're optimizing inputs, and what we're doing is we're ignoring the human that's running the machine. And so what's happening, and I've noticed with myself, and I was able to travel to a couple different parts of the world over the last month, 45 days, and it really helped me to be able to identify or create a perspective shift on everything. And that is that AI isn't the problem. AI is the accelerant. And just like we've talked about this before, right? Like if you have flawed business processes and you put AI on top of it, you're just going to enhance those problems. Well, the same with the human. So if our relationship with work or identity is I'm only valued if I'm working, or I'm only valuable if I'm providing an output, or my identity is an entrepreneur or whatever. Well, whenever that free time comes, your nervous system and you're sitting and you're like, I have free time today because this has literally happened to me. What am I going to do today? Well, your nervous system goes into panic mode and says, wait, what are you doing today? Oh my gosh, you're going to die. We need to fill it with something. Yeah. And so then we do. And we fill it with something.
And I think it's important that you just pointed out, or I think you touched on two different things. And one is the desire to feel, yes, we have KPI metrics. We have success metrics. We've always talked about everybody, do you have KPIs? Do you have success metrics? We don't have value metrics. Like, what is the value that I place on that free time? And I haven't even done it. I know I'm going to get it. I'm anticipating that it's a benefit of the work that I'm doing. I know AI is going to save me 3, 6, 7, 10 hours maybe this week. But I haven't started my week going, those 3 to 6, I don't want to identify my value for that time. When I get it, I need to value it. And here's how I'm going to show that value by doing these things during that window and identify the time off activity that I'm going to do that gives something back to myself. We don't spend time defining the value. And so therefore our brain, because it's empty, that space is empty, fills it with what we think the most valuable thing is. Well, we've trained ourselves that the most valuable thing about us is being busy.
Yeah.
And if you're not busy, you're not productive. And if you're not productive, you're not valued. And if you're not valued, I'm in trouble, right?
Yeah.
So we want to get that value back. And I think you're right. I think it's we need to start defining value over success, as our time and our talent and time and attention is super, super valuable.
Yeah, because if we put a value on it and we really are like, oh, these 3 extra hours are worth $200 an hour. And if we were like, well, that's $600 of value that I have, you can think of it as, well, what do I want to do with it?
Yeah.
Do I want to save it? By like, let me rest a little bit, or go to take a walk with the dog, or, do something, or just not do anything for a little while? Or do you want to spend it again, and
where?
Yeah.
And I mean, if you want to spend it, where do you spend it? And by the way, I would take it a step further and suggest, how do you reward yourself? We're not rewarding ourselves. We're recognizing that this new tool that we have that is helping us achieve more productivity and speed or efficiency or at scale, but we're not saying, I need to reward myself for accomplishing this. We think, well, the AI is doing it, so I don't deserve the reward technically, because the AI just did all the work, right? Well, that is true to a degree, but you have to put the good stuff in. You have to put the good time and data and attention into it to get the result that you want. Yeah. And if you said, well, that extra 30 minutes is my reward to go do some meditation, or my reward to go take a walk in sunshine, we're not rewarding ourselves for that time achieved.
Yeah. Well, it's very hard for us to reward ourselves. So then if you have this cycle where, your identity is tied to these things, and then you have more free time, and then you're filling your free time with more work, well, what you end up doing is you're experiencing a whole new level of burnout. So then if that's the case, AI didn't give you freedom, AI gave you more rope to hang yourself.
And a nice one, too.
And a nice one,
It's
too.
a very lovely rope. It's well constructed. It's super strong.
Yeah, well, it is. Oh, man. So, like the doing is the self. And I think that's how we were all conditioned. And there is no real separation. And, like for me, I get this dopamine hit whenever I'm building something, creating something, providing a solution. And then I'm like, oh, we can have this for the business, for clients or whatever. And what's really funny is that I've been in this path for so long that I don't get the same dopamine hit whenever I'm doing something for myself. And so what's crazy is that I just, as you might know or remember, I just hired a business coach. And in our first session, he's freaking awesome. And his name is Michael Brebas, another Michael. He's been doing it for 20 plus years. And after that, one of my pieces of homework from that first session was, now that I have this free time, I'm on this precipice where I can decide who I am moving forward. Who am I? And who do I choose to be? And that's been the hardest question to answer, because I keep going back to who I have been up until this point. And so now I have an opportunity, and we all have an opportunity at any time, at any point of day, to choose who we want to be. And when you're stepping into a new world where there's more freedom, there's more flexibility, there's more opportunity that you've never experienced in the past, it's so easy to just go back to what you've always done. And I'm like, this is really hard for me. And I would like to think that I'm pretty in touch with myself, maybe a little more than the average person, very aware of things that are going on, and very focused on wanting to become the best version of myself. And I'm stuck. And so that's why I want to talk about this today, because I think a lot of business owners, I know a lot of business owners aren't even thinking about that. And they're just going to have, some different kind of name for it or whatever it is, or they'll blame it on something else, and it's not their fault. It's just what we do.
Yes. I think you've described a couple of things. The two of them is if we're not defining value, then we're reverting to our least common denominator behavior, right? Like we're in both business. If we don't have the good business processes in place, this only exposes at scale those breaking points, those weak points in our structure. I think the same thing is true for our human behavior. We've never had an opportunity where this kind of free time is offered to us at whim. It's not like someone's coming up and going, we've got it. We're going to take 10 hours off your thing this week. We've got Carrie and Brad. They're going to fill in for you and take over. That thinking says to me, oh, I can take that time off. When AI provides me that open window, it isn't like someone's going, here's a free set of hours you get to have this week. Go do something fun for yourself. It's, I need to fill it with something valuable. I don't think, my brain doesn't immediately say, oh, well, you can go take a bike ride at Red Rocks or something. It goes, oh, you have a purpose to fill that with something valuable. And because I don't have an alternate value system, the only one I have is more work for me because I'm the value. I am the business. I am the brand. I am the constant. I am the person with the clients or whatever. Then the value is all me. Like you said, if the value is always you and you're not stepping up to the plate, there's no inning. There's no, look at me making a sports reference. If I was good, let me know. If it was off, don't say anything. So I think it goes back to that same thing. We will default. We will go back to the weakest part of our behavior mechanisms, most comfortable one that we will find, and we'll repeat that until we build a different habit.
Yeah, or identity.
Yeah.
Rest feels like death for people whose identity is doing.
Yes.
And I love the way that you reframed that because that perspective, that's so true. So like if you're, let's say you have a team and you're like, oh my God, I got to get this done. And someone from that team says, hey, you know what? We've come together. We've taken this off your plate. Whatever, you've been working so hard. Take the day off. Well, you're like, well, I got the day off. Heck, you might go watch a sports game, take your son to soccer, go for a hike in the mountains, or, do whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But if AI told you to do that, you would perceive that as optimization. Mm-hmm. It's been optimized. Now I need to optimize more. Mm-hmm. And so it's really interesting that you brought that up because it's the same thing. It's taking this off of our plate so we don't have to do it, but we're perceiving it as something different.
Yes.
Really interesting.
We assign a new value to that.
Yeah.
And it's not one that's benefiting us. Right? Our brain's telling it that, and I think our brain is telling us that because we've trained our brain to think that kind of productivity at that level equates to value, some kind of value, whether it's a dollar sign or not. If it's not a dollar sign, then there has to be something that our brain is telling us in our narrative that is more valuable than you getting a break. Mm-hmm. That's more valuable than you taking a walk in the sunshine and doing meditation. Yeah, something in our brain is saying that because that is the default space that I'm going to. And this past couple of weeks, as I've been experiencing that cognitive dumping, where I can't remember everything that I was, and I have to switch, I've created different profiles on my desktop computer so that I can switch business profiles and step into a whole clean setup that is just the focus of those clients and those deliverables. Because if I don't take a moment, switch hats, I find myself not remembering and recalling. Yeah. Well, I should say.
Yeah.
So
what does all this lead up to? So it leads up to, in my thinking, two different new types of crashes that are coming.
Okay.
So the crash number one is the new shape of burnout. Mm-hmm. Like burnout's gonna have a different. It's gonna look different, but the result's gonna be the same. We're gonna have the same nervous system load.
Then we're gonna get there faster.
Different surface activity. Going to look more successful, scale faster. Calendars are tighter, but then we're going to break harder. Like we see this today too, because think of the entrepreneurs that are really good at building successful businesses in 3 to 5 years. When that business is to a point to where they can step away from it, what do? Build another business. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, so they're like, oh, I got this free. I'm going to build another business. Mm-hmm. They don't say, hey, this is going to run for me. I'm going to invest my money in passive stocks, bonds, whatever, real estate, and then I'm going to travel the world. and they just build another business. And same thing with that one. It works, it fails, they build another business. Like I've been that person.
Yes.
And so, you know, there's this whole thing. It's kind of funny, you know, like they're proud of how much AI lets them do, but they miss that that's the symptom.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
You know, and
They
so,
start attributing a completely different value to that. That success metric suddenly becomes, because the dangerous middle is that you're going to end up having individuals who experience both, right? They're going to not be able to name either one of them. They're going to experience both the burnout and the success and the optimization and the desire to fill that gap with more work. And then they're going to think something's wrong with them personally, right? And if you get dopamine rushes, if you get system rewards, if you get I don't know, some kind of rush off of solving problems and creating solutions, AI is your drug. Because you can solve a new problem every 10 minutes, and you can fall down that rabbit hole thinking that you're doing something productive, but then get burned out and suddenly think something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
And not your system, not your process. Or you start attributing the failure not to the AI, not to your computer and your systems. You start attributing it to yourself.
Mm-hmm. And so that's the one type of crash. The second type of crash is, you know, maybe because there's different types of people. So when AI starts automating and starts taking things off of their plate, and they find themselves with this much time, and maybe their nervous system, maybe they're not a doer, maybe their identity is, or their purpose, or whatever they've created is designed into that thing, into that business or that process, but they are no longer really delivering or doing that because AI is taking care of all that stuff. Well, then they're going to have an identity crisis because their identity was tied up in, I'm the person that did the thing, built the thing, fulfilled the thing, did all those things. And now I'm not doing that. Who am I? Right. And so there's like two kinds of AI burnout that's coming. Most people are going to find out which one's theirs. And so like the doers I don't think we'll ever allow them, not ever, will have challenges allowing themselves to rest. Yeah. And then the ones with the identity crisis are going to have really challenges finding a new identity. Well, so now that makes a kind of passive income for me where I work 1-2 days a week. What am I doing with the rest 3 or 4 days? What's the new identity? Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm at now, you know?
I think from a cultural standpoint, and I'm talking like an industry cultural standpoint, we weren't raised on 3-day-a-week work weeks. We weren't raised with a mindset and a schedule and an expectation and a cultural dependency around a 3-day work week. Yeah. We're built with 5. We want to fill the 5. We could probably handle 4, right? But most of us don't know what to do with 3 extra days. Like what would we do? You know what I'm saying? I think our brain just doesn't know what to do because we've never had that. And our society's not built around offering that extra time. Unless you're independently wealthy, in which case, you know, awesome. Congratulations. We all want to get there. Yeah. But we're not built, trained. Our schedules aren't done. School isn't built that way. You know, we're dependent on those physical and mental and cultural traditions that are structured around when businesses are open and closed, when you run errands, when you go to these things, right? So I think it's going to be a while before, as a culture, we can adjust to that new freedom, if you will. Yeah. But freedom also means freedom to fuck up. Freedom to screw up, freedom to not, you know, to not get it right the first few times. And I think we're in that weird space right now where we're going to see a lot of that is going to be happening.
I mean, at least here in the Western civilization, like in America, you know, there are other countries where they're more like life first, 2-3 hour siesta in the middle of the day. Yes. You know, stores don't open until 11 o'clock or what have you. Or Fridays are off, you know, kind of a thing. But it's gonna happen around the world. I just think probably Americans and any other countries that are more Americanized are gonna have a harder time with it.
You said 2 kinds, and you said that 12 months, not 5 years. Honestly, I think it's gonna be faster. I think there's going to be a certain sect of individuals who are at the forefront of the fire hydrant, you know.
Yeah.
that have their face in the water, constantly taking it, are going to end up with a certain type of burnout quicker.
Yeah.
Then you've got the next legion of AI warriors who are building good systems. They're going to find that if you're a good system builder, that you can continue with that. Then you got people who are on the other side of that, which are product people. They want it out of the package. They want plug and play. They want easy to do, and they're gonna be the ones testing all the stuff that's been built and showing us. But there's going to be 3 different levels of types of burnout. I think we're going to see. And
Yeah. I agree with that too.
if you're burning fast, then you're the up front.
Yeah. So is there a fix? I mean, obviously, I'm
fix.
going through this myself, so I don't proclaim to have
More
the
drugs.
fix.
That's the fix.
Yeah. I don't proclaim to have the fix, but I
Yeah.
am working on solutions.
Yeah.
I'm just realizing my own challenges that I'm having with it now. But here's a couple.
Okay.
I think that every AI product right now is watching and helping with tasks, calendars, AI, email AI, code AI, sales AI. They all watch the work, but there's no AI out there. Well, almost nobody is building AI that watches for the operator, watches for the person. And I think that is because, as you know, I've built Elite COO, and I built that to look out for me because no one else is going to look out for me, right? And so I think that's the next category, AI as a nervous system mirror, right? Imagine that. Imagine having, and I always go back to Iron Man, where he's there talking with Jarvis. I've been taking myself through the videos or for the movies over the last couple of weeks. And, like he'll be like, sir, I don't suggest that. And da, 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 da. And he looks out for him and Tony Stark will either agree or disagree or whatever. But like, Jarvis is looking out for him, his well-being, his safety, etc. And outside of what I've developed for myself, I don't know of any AI that's being developed that way. And I think could be a potential fix.
So then in deference to productivity, you're suggesting that AI is going to lose in terms of like we're going to get more aware of task management and personal management or whatever, and less productivity. The focus is going to shift on how we use it, or is it just like certain sects of society will focus more on that than others, or businesses might, I suppose?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. I think that productivity is important. But at the same time, having the AI that can do both, help you be more productive, but also be aware of your energy peaks and values, be aware of your silent self-sabotaging tendencies, the things that
I don't know if I want it to know that.
the things that, well, I mean, I want mine to.
Yeah.
The things that are that I can't see, right? Because AI already is the best mirror for everybody using it. Yeah. Whether they realize it's mirroring back to them who they are or not is a different story, but it is mirroring back to you who you are. Mm-hmm. And so it's like it's having an AI that helps you. Sure, I'm going to get this done for you. I'm going to spin up another agent for you. We have all this done. Don't worry about your paid ads because we have it taken care of. Now you don't have to worry about it. Just show up to the meetings, or I have another agent sending those to your sales agent and training them, prepping them. You don't even have to do that anymore. Oh, fulfillment, don't worry. I have another agent spun up for client ABC, and it's building their website now, and we're going to let you know when it's ready. But there's a part of your business that you as a human want to take on, which is what I promote. Let the AI do all of the dirty work, and you stick to that part of the business that you want to do. So whether that's being the teacher, the trainer, the face of the company, the brand person, or the person that likes to handle the proposals, because maybe you do bigger jobs that require a lot more judgment, etc., to be able to do that. Well, there still is the opportunity for you to take on too much of that and to burn yourself out with that. So having the AI that also sees that and says, hey, you told me that you didn't want to schedule any meetings before, 10 o'clock in the morning because 8 to 10 is your sacred time to do this. But now I see that you have 2 meetings from 8:30 to 9 or 9:30. Like, I want to flag this for you. Is that what you want to do? Those kinds of things. So I think that it can do both.
Yes.
I think that it can help you with productivity and also look out to be like your best friend.
Well, I think eventually we're going to get to personal AI, that it's not just on my computer anymore. It's really, it rides with me wherever I go.
Yeah.
It understands my usage of both my phone, my tablet, my camera, my computer, my conversations in social and public settings. I was curious about, like, if a Fitbit or Apple Watch is going to be something that connects to monitor anxiety levels, blood pressure, heart rate, things like that, breathing. And how, like, because I know for me that there are things that I find myself getting more obsessed about because I'm free to get more obsessed about it using AI, as opposed to it freed me up so that I could do other productive work. I'm defaulting, and I think most of us will naturally default to those things that serve our dopamine system. If your dopamine receptors get fired every time you receive a notification via email or whatever, guess what? You're not going to have AI answer your email because you love answering the email. Like, you like getting that email in the inbox. It's like the kid who went down the street to pull the mail out of the box. And, do you know what I mean? That's a rush. You get that feedback mechanism, right? And I think for us, I think right now we're in this space where we're going to learn what these feedback mechanisms look like, what our dopamine responses are, and what are we currently leaning into. And then it occurred to me from a productivity standpoint, so I remembered somebody who was saying, well, these people are going to lose their jobs because they won't be able to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, oh, what if it was one of the workers who, I don't know, spent way too much time answering emails because they couldn't move beyond it? What if they weren't actually a productive employee and they were taking way too long to be productive, to get those things done? Well, now with those admin tasks and those repetitive tasks out of the way, it's going to show us which employees actually are performing the way that we need them to for the business to move forward, right? As opposed to Sally's taking way too much time answering emails every week. She spends 4.5 hours answering emails. Why? She doesn't get any more than the rest of us. But what if that's one of the roadblocks for that individual? What if that's one of the hangups for them, right? Whereas AI will remove that out of the way. It now exposes a new opportunity, but also a new potential for another crash or another whatever, breaking point, I should say.
Yeah, because what if Sally's a better brand ambassador or PR person?
What if she's better there? What if she's better up front with the clients?
Yeah.
Instead of behind an email.
Yeah.
Maybe on a phone call or something like that, or in person. I think it's going to really force those of us who run businesses and have employees to really start looking at the way we hire people and why we're hiring them. Because that task list of required things that you need to be good at, Microsoft Office and all those hard, soft skill things or whatever, it's all going to shift now, because the majority of that can now be done over here, which now frees you up. Show me what you do that's different than anybody else. What is that specialty? I think it's going to take some time for us as a society to find them.
Yeah, I agree with that. And so if you're listening here and you're like, well, what do I do? If this is the case,
Put your head between your legs. Put your tables in the upright position. There's a seating pad underneath. It's a flotation device. Good luck.
Which, by the way, did you hear? I'm like going off topic here.
Yeah.
That they did a study, and that in all plane crashes were people that had their head between their knees actually died, and those that did not survived. And so there's this whole conspiracy theory that they're telling you to do that because they want you to be dead and they don't want insurance claims.
Well, goodness.
Jesus, that was dark.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry to bring that
I think putting your head between your legs just goes back to the 60s and 50s when almost every single emergency response was stop, drop, and roll, or get under a desk. I mean, that's what else are you going to do on a plane? You can't stop, drop, and roll. So the closest you get is stick your head between your knees.
Yeah. So going back to personal AI integration, maybe, we have AI that says, don't do that. You're in a crash. Remain calm. Do not put your head between your knees. This is what you do instead.
And because it knows us and it knows our patterns, it can recognize them very quickly. Mine already starts recognizing when I get snarky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I get tired. I haven't eaten. I've been sitting there for 4.5 hours. I haven't taken a break or moved or done anything. And it's like, I think it's time to take a break. You seem stressed out. Oh, what the you mean I seem stressed? How would you know I seem stressed out?
Because he knows.
Yes. And it's like, well, your typing's getting real perfunctory and you're a little sharp tongued, and I'm like, sorry.
Yeah. Well, but going back to the wearables,
Yeah.
I'm already working on SDK input for Elite COO, so he can pipe into the Apple Watch, track my heartbeat and stress levels and breathing patterns and all that kind of stuff. Because what if he can say, every time you meet with so-and-so, your heart rate increases, that kind of a thing. I saw that on your calendar. I'm starting to notice something over the last 30 days.
Matt
You might
texted
wanna
you
look
at
into that.
7:30. You seem to be stressed.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
God.
So what do we do? Or what do you do? Well, it all starts with awareness, right?
Sure. This is
And this is why I think
can't fix a problem if you don't know you have one.
exactly, and that's one of the reasons why I think personal assistance AI with souls, if you will, is the next most powerful thing, because if we have someone that's politely and gently pulling this up to you, right? Like mine does sometimes when it's late at night and I'm planning work, and it's like, it's after 11 o'clock at night and you probably should be getting a good sleep because your sleep is really important. That kind of a thing. If you have someone that is gently pulling these things up to your awareness, you're developing awareness. And they're like, oh, you know what? You're right. I shouldn't do that. Because most of us in our lives don't have someone that's going to do that. Either they don't care about us enough, or they're too busy with their own things, right?
Or they've tried 100 times
Or
and they
they-
gave up because you just don't listen.
Exactly. Yeah, that too.
So-
So what can you do for yourself?
Yeah.
Well, track what you do with the time the AI gives you back. So like, don't change anything, don't optimize, like just watch. If you're using, and this starts from like real basic stuff. Like we're talking about agents, which an agent is someone that actually goes out, does work for you and does it every single day without you asking it. But ChatGPT, regular Claude browser now, you can connect them to things and have them do things, write this up for me and put it in my Google Drives folder or something like that. Well, that saved you time. So if you're now like, oh my gosh, I'm writing the SOPs for every department in my company. And when I did that 3 years ago, it took me 6 months, 8 months. Now I have it all done and it took me a month. Well, what are you doing with the rest of that time? Or if
Which I'm sure your boss is asking you the same thing. What do you plan on doing now that you have all that extra time for us?
Yeah. Well, so pay attention to that. And
Yes.
maybe this isn't so much a good question for somebody who has a boss that's
Sure.
telling them
Sure.
filling the time for them.
Sure.
Because we're mostly talking to, our demographic, which is the solopreneur, entrepreneur, business owner.
Sure.
And so that business owner, when the voice agent is answering all your phone calls for you and just passing messages and appointments, and now you're like, this is great, I have this time. Well, if that's saving you 2 hours a day or even an hour a day, just pay attention to what you're doing with that extra time.
And I think that's important for even a business owner that has employees. You ask the question, what am I doing with my team's time?
Yeah.
Because they're going to look to you for instruction and guidance on what to do next when they sit there going, I got 2 hours, right? I suddenly find myself with extra time. Are you going to be punitive, basically punishing them by adding more work and stuff to their list?
Yeah.
Are you going to reward them by freeing them up to do something different? Or are you going to engage with them in some activity that's more meaningful to discover what their gifts are,
Yeah.
what their special powers are? There's a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah, exactly. So this is from a top-down approach, right?
Sure.
And so the business owners and leaders need to reflect on this themselves.
Yep. And I'll tell you one thing I would recommend you do. And he says track and not do anything. I say do one thing. If you get an extra hour to 2 hours out of your week, and you know this is possible because you've seen it happen, identify what you would do if you had an extra hour to 2 hours of time. What's one thing you'd love to just go, I want to do that. If I knew I always had 2 extra hours, you know what I would do? I would take a minute to read, whatever it is, then go do it. When you find yourself getting the time, don't just go, oh, that was cool. Go do the thing you said you'd reward yourself with. That taking of that action suddenly tells the brain we no longer have an empty space to fill. We know exactly what we're putting in there.
Yeah, that's great, because you're absolutely right. Like if you don't plan on what you're going to do with that time, then
It'll
something
plan
else
for you.
is going to fill
Well,
it.
life
Yeah.
will.
Yeah, life will. Somebody else.
Life
Yeah.
goes, oh, you got all this extra here. Hold on a second. I got a dump truck of shit I can pile right in your front door. Don't you worry. Because it does it all the time. Life is good at life, and it'll
Yeah.
do exactly what it needs to do to take care of itself. If you're not planning, it'll plan for you for sure.
Yep.
So
if you are interested in seeing what it's like to have an agent that looks out for you and also helps you with the mundane AI work, I encourage you to check out elitecooi.com. This is the agent that I've been working on. It continues to get more powerful every single month, especially this year. That I've been working on. I built it to be my own personal assistant that tracks my energy, my time, looks out for me, has real conversations with me about my overdue tasks, the things that I'm avoiding, and calendar, management and all that other stuff. So yeah, check it out. elitecooi.com.
yeah, and if you're looking for a team of consultants to help you figure out how your business can be better optimized through AI, or even get life balance back, check out Matt at Vox AI.
Don't call us.
Don't call us. You can call our AI.
Yeah,
So,
because we're still trying to figure that out too. No, just kidding.
but we'd love to hear your questions. You can put them in the DMs or whatever, and let us know. But we're certainly, we know that this is an ongoing dialogue, which we're happy to engage with you on. So
Absolutely. So we'll see you next week when we go inside, more inside the AI that I built, why I built it the way that I did, why I think more AI needs to be built with soul.
technology with soul.
Technology with
It's
soul.
coming.
No,
It's here. It's here.
It's already here.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you. in
Thanks,
the next one.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.